Hi everyone, my name is Vasiliki Vitsiopoulos, but I go by Aliki. This is my second semester as an MLIS student at Wayne State, and my other academic and education information is posted below on the written portion of this, so I'll just go right into the questions. I actually collect coffee and tea mugs. I have a very specific way of organizing them in my cupboard that I store them. I put all my most used coffee and tea mugs, which I separate, on the lowest shelf, and then I have certain ones I drink for certain situations. Um, and then the less used ones go higher and higher. I collect the mugs from the new cities that I visit. I try to collect one new mug each time I go on a trip, and it's a good way to remember the trips that I've been on and the new cities that I've seen. I've also received them as gifts for holidays and birthdays because everyone knows that I collect them. A little quirk of mine with collecting is that when I have people come over and visit, and I give them a cup of coffee or tea, I try to match the mug that I think goes best with their personality, which is just a little thing that I do. What do I read? I read a little bit of everything, I'd say. I really enjoy historical fiction. I enjoy memoirs, and then sometimes just fluff reading. I like to switch off between something more pleasurable to read and then something more academic for my own personal reading. I just finished a book called Prisoners of Geography, which is um, a book that looks at geopolitics around the world and why certain nations are in the situations that they're in, whether that be positive or negative, based on their geography. Before that, I read a book called Boy Swallows Universe, which is a kind of a coming of age story of a boy who grew up in a rough neighborhood in Brisbane, Australia, which was really great. And the one before that, I read a book called Adults in the Room, which was written by the previous finance minister in Greece. Um, he took over as Greece was going through its second bailout, and he was finance minister for about, I want to say, 6 or 7 months, and this is his story of dealing with the powers that be of the EU. It was a great read, and I highly recommend it. And then for the last question, where do I feel at home? I have to say two very different places. I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, and all my family is there, as well as my fiance's family. So that is um, my first home. And then last year, my fiance and I moved here to Detroit, and it's become my second home. It's kind of the first home that I've built on my own because I lived at home while I was an undergrad and commuted to school. So this is my first, like, on my own home. And then where my heart is, I have to say, is in Greece. I'm a first generation Greek American, and my parents immigrated to the US with my grandparents. And every time I go back to Greece, it just feels like a part of me is back home again, even though I never lived there myself, but it's just definitely where my heart is. Um, I'm looking forward to working with you all this semester, and I hope everyone has a great semester. Thank you.